Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of House Bill 934. Mr. Speaker, we have argued all of these issues numerous times since last June. And voter ID is an important subset of voter fraud. Now, I've heard in this hall that voter fraud doesn't exist because we have few prosecutions. But as a victim of voter fraud myself, I can tell you that that is the very problem. The problem is in the failure to prosecute. Now, we've had our good colleague from Lancaster County get up and give us numerous examples of voter fraud. That wasn't enough. We've had the sponsor of the bill from Butler County get up and give us numerous instances of voter fraud. That wasn't enough. We've even had our good colleague from Bucks County get up, who is a representative himself and who had his ID stolen, and when he went to the polls to vote, somebody had already voted in his place. Now, you would think that at the polling place they would know their representative, and yet he was denied the right to vote. And yet that's somehow not enough for those on the other side that we have a voter fraud problem in Pennsylvania. Now, I've heard that veterans are being disenfranchised. And as a veteran, I can tell you, I don't try to speak for all veterans, but I can tell you this. I dare say that veterans are among the group of people most accustomed to showing an ID to do anything. They can't even go in the dining hall and get a meal and stand before a sergeant or a private that knows them without showing their ID. So they're used to showing an ID card. And I've heard it said here that we're rushing through this bill. Yet, I can't think, we spent about 5 hours on this floor debating it back in June. And we've said, I don't know how many hours here in the last 2 days. It's gone through the Senate, it's gone through here. This is the second time. I can't think of a bill that's been more debated and more talked about. So I don't think we're rushing this bill. And finally, I've heard that even AARP doesn't support this bill. And this bill somehow hurts our senior citizens. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say this. I do about a town hall a month, as probably most members here do. And in between those town hall meetings, I speak at AARP groups and senior groups. And it's the first question I've asked them in every one of those meetings since last May. How many of you in this room have a photo ID? And literally every hand goes up. And then I say, and how many of you wouldn't mind showing that ID to vote? And literally every hand goes up. I've only had 2 people since last May come up to me and say, I don't think it's a good idea. Senior citizens are some of our most law-abiding citizens, and they are completely prepared to show a voter an ID card when they go to vote. So I think all of these arguments are fallacious, and I think it's time that we do the will of the people and we vote yes on House Bill 934 and secure the most precious election system in this Commonwealth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.